Page 80, rogues. From the previous. Here is where the problem of états voyous that I announced in the beginning forms a real knot, K-N-O-T. To understand this knot, I am not saying to undo it. I will follow three threads of very unequal length. Unequal for reasons of economy and because I do not wish to try your patience. The first thread, the longest, although still little more than a quick connection, would be the one that links the question of what we have called the democracy to come, of what this syntagma might mean to the current situation, States accuse other states of being états voyous, or rogue states. They intend to draw the conclusion, the armed conclusion of this, namely, to use force to confront them in the name of a presumed right and the reason of the strongest, according to modes that we no longer know, in principle and in all rigor, how to qualify, and that, according to my hypothesis, are and will remain forever foreign to every accredited qualification and every acceptable conceptual distinction, army as opposed to police, engaged in war, parentheses, civil war, national war, or partisan war, or in peacekeeping operations, or else in state terrorism. Every democracy to come, whatever meaning or credit we attribute to this expression, will have to treat this problem and its urgency. It is only in post-Kantian modernity that the problematic, and first of all, the definition of democracy, comes to be rooted in the turbulent terrain of relations between states in questions of war and peace. As at the end of On the Social Contract, questions of foreign policy on the social contract. Questions of foreign policy, of war and peace, were still excluded, marginalized, or deferred in the treatment of the concept and stakes of democracy. This democracy remained and still remains a model of international and intrastate political organization within the city. Despite some appearances, it is not certain that things have changed. Whether we follow the guiding thread of a post-Kantian political thought of cosmopolitanism or that of the international law that governed throughout the 20th century, such institutions as the League of Nations, the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, and so on, the democratic model, parentheses, equality and freedom of sovereign state subjects, majority rule, and so on, end parentheses. So the democratic model, equality and freedom of sovereign state subjects, majority rule, and so on, sometimes seems to become, or tends to become, in spirit, the norm of this politics of international law. But this appearance is deceptive. And the question of a universal, international, interstate, and especially trans-state democratization remains an utterly obscure question of the future. It is one of the possible horizons of the expression democracy to come. The democratic paradigm does not govern the tradition of Kant's treatise, Perpetual Peace, which it would be necessary to read here closely, with its concept of a world republic, which is not a democracy, and its distinction between a treaty of peace, Friedensvertrag Pactum Pacis, P-A-C-I-S, Pactum Pacis. Friedensvertrag, Treaty of Peace, and a League of Peace. Friedensvertrag, Friedensvertrag, Friedensbund, Foedus Pacificum, F-O-E-D-U-S, Foedus. So I guess, we're citing perpetual peace now. This latter alone being capable, so Friedensbund, League of Peace, this latter alone being capable of assuring a perpetual peace in a federation of free, which is to say sovereign states. All this, we must never forget, is in the context of Kant's claim that the majesty of the people, that is to say, the sovereignty of the people, is an absurd expression. Volksmajestate ist ein ungereimter Ausdruck. Volksmajestate ist ein ungereimter Ausdruck. An absurd expression. Majestas has always, that's M-A-J-E-S-T-A-S, has always been a synonym of sovereignty. Only a state can be or have a sovereign. A league of peoples, Volkerbund, cannot become a state of peoples, Volkerstaat, or be joined into a single state. As for democracy in the interstate or trans-state relations, law and institutions of today, the least that can be said is that it remains entirely to come. It is thus the place of which we must speak, not necessarily from this place or in view of this place, but on the subject of the possibility or impossibility of such a place. In saying that this place, possible, impossible, or unlocatable, but not necessarily utopic, close paren, constitutes the place or proper place with any chance of giving some weight or scope to the expression democracy to come, I should say in all honesty, commit myself, although I will not be able to do so today, to a patient analysis of all the contexts and inflections that have marked this sort of motto that is not even a sentence, democracy to come. For I have most often used it, always in passing, with as much stubborn determination and as indeterminate hesitation At once calculated and culpable, in a strange mixture of lightness and gravity, in a casual and cursory, indeed somewhat irresponsible way, with a somewhat sententious and aphoristic reserve that leaves seriously in reserve an excessive responsibility. Each time, the context and I won't start that because it trails to the next page. So what is that? That was 78, 79. So that was 80 and 81.